All right, today we are going to take a look back again at perimeter and solving for a missing side length. I know that we did that last week, and we did kind of a mixed review on Friday, excuse me, of perimeter and area. But I always feel like perimeter is just one of those things like we need an extra day on when we're solving for the missing side length. So let's take a look. I have 4 word problems that I have created that we're going to go through today. And then you have a worksheet that you're going to print, and you have 5 problems. And then the 6th problem is kind of like a written response explaining how question number 5 was different. So let's jump in and get started. We're right here with question number 1. Mrs. Body purchased a new rug for her living room. The square rug had a perimeter of 48 feet. Well, I'm going to underline that keyword perimeter. That tells me the distance around, and the distance was 48 feet. What is the length of one side of her new rug? I'm also going to underline the question. Now, there's another key word here that I did not underline. I forgot it, and it was this part right here, the square rug. So again, I know that a square has 4 sides that are equal length. So this side and this side are equal, so is this side and this side. They're all 4 the same length. And I know that the perimeter they've given me is 48 feet. Well, I need to think to myself, okay, if I know the distance all the way around this square is 48 feet, then what would each side length measure? Well, I have to think about this side plus this side plus this side plus this side added together equals 48. Now I could also think to myself, since we're solving for perimeter, so this is different than area, since we're solving for perimeter, I could take 48 and divide it by 4. And when I do that, let me think here. How many times will 4 go into 48? Well, I know that 4 goes into 48 at least 10 times, and that would take away a group of 40 because 4 times 10 is equal to 40. Subtract, I'm left with 8. 4 goes into 8 twice because 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, I have nothing left. I'm going to add together my partial quotients. 2 plus 10 is equal to 12. So I know that each length is going to be equal to 12, what's my unit of measurement? Feet. So to answer the question, what is the length of one side of her new rug? The answer would be 12 feet. Let's take a look at example or problem number 2. Bryn drew a rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle was 192 millimeters. My brain automatically thinks of a rectangle now, and I know perimeter is equal to 192 millimeters. The length of the rectangle was 64 millimeters. So length is equal to 64 millimeters. What is the width of the rectangle that Bryn drew? So that's the unknown. That's the part that I have to solve. All right, so this is a 3-step problem. 1, 2, and 3. And those steps are to add, subtract, and then divide. So if you can remember add, subtract, divide, then you will recognize how to find the missing length. First thing we need to do, if this side is 64, then this side is, you probably just said it out loud, 64. So let's add what we know. 64 plus 64. 4 and 4 is 8, 6 and 6 is 12. 128. So far, we've used up 128 out of our 192. So step 2, let's take that away from the total. Subtract. 192 minus 128. Can't take 8 away from 2. Borrow, that becomes an 8. That's now 12. 12 minus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That leaves me with 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. Now, divide. So 64 represents this amount that's left over for this side and this side. I need to cut this amount in half to figure out the width of each side. So take your total here, now bring it up, 64 divided by 2. Well, what number plus what number will give me a total of 64? Well, I know that a 2 and a 2 in the ones place would equal 4, and a 3 and a 3 in the tens place would equal 6. So 32 plus 32 then is equal to 64. My missing width is 32, and let's look at our unit measurement. This should have been 2 M's, 32 millimeters. So again, add, subtract, divide. Add what you were given. In this case, it was the length. Add it twice. Subtract it from the total, and then divide in half. Let's try another one. Problem number 3. Mrs. Body is adding border to her hallway bulletin board. Oh, okay, so it's not telling me like that we're doing perimeter. I don't see the key word there, but I know, because I really think about the words I'm reading, that border refers to like around the outer edge of a bulletin board. Adding border to her hallway bulletin board. She needs a total of 312 inches of border to trim the bulletin board. The width of the bulletin board measures 48 inches. What is the length in inches? So I'm going to draw a picture just like I did before. There's my bulletin board, and I'm doing border around the edge. You guys have seen those in the hallway all the time. Now I need a total of, so perimeter is 312 inches. And again, they didn't say perimeter. I knew that because I know that border refers to around the outer edge, and that's the same as perimeter. Now the width is 48, but I don't know the length. That's my question. What is the length? So step 1, let's add. Add what they gave you. 48 plus 48. 8 plus 8 is 16, carry the 1, 4 and 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 96. Now, let's go ahead and subtract that from my total. 312 minus 96. Can't take 6 away from 2, gonna have to borrow. 0 here, 12 here. 12 minus 6 is 6, but 9 take away, I can't do 9 away from 0. Borrow, now this is a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 2, bring it down, 216. I'm not good at subtraction, so I'm going to add that real quick to make sure I did this correctly. This is 12, carry the 1, 9, 10, 11, carry the 1, 12, 312, 312. Okay, so I did this correct. 216 is correct. Now the last step I know, step 3, is to divide, so to cut it in half. 216 divided by 2. How are we going to do that? So let's take a look. Now, how many times will 2 go into 216? Well, I know it'll go 100. That would take away a group of 200. That would leave me with 16, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. So that would leave me 2 times 8, which is 16, 0. I can add my partial quotients for a total of 108 inches. Now let's see if that makes sense, guys. If you were to fill in 108 plus 108, 48 plus 48, would you get a total of 312? Let's see. 108, 108, 48, and 48. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 32. 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. My math was done correctly. The answer was 108 inches. That is the missing length. Whew, that was quick. Okay, let's look at the last problem, then we're done. A hexagon, oh boy. Well, what do I know about the word hexagon? Well, I know that that refers to a six-sided figure. If I didn't, look what they told me right here. A hexagon is a six-sided polygon. So it's kind of like that stop sign pizza they serve sometimes, that Fiesta pizza in the cafeteria. And all sides are going to be equal because it says right here, has equal sides with a perimeter of 30 meters. So the perimeter is 30 meters. What is the length of each side of this hexagon? Well, they just told me that it's a six-sided figure, and if I know the perimeter is 30 inches, then I'm going to need to take that and divide by 6 because, again, they are all equal sides. They told me that in the problem. So divide by 6, and I know that 6 times 5 is 30, so 30 divided into 6 equal groups is going to give me a total of 5. So each length is equal to 5, what's my unit of measurement? Meters. Okay, you guys have a worksheet. You also have one exit ticket question. We'll meet at 2 o'clock to go over those problems.